There we go. Hit a couple of wrong buttons there. Oh my, good morning everyone. This is Anthony Cirillo. Hello Linda, thanks for tuning in again. Haven't seen you in a few days. Again, this is Sage Streams, 2 weeks of programming for the National Association of Activity Professionals. We've had some incredible talent. Last week we had our crooner John Michelizzi and our fitness expert Lisa Priebe. We had jazz singer Andrea Miller, who toured with Al Jarreau. We had Franco Samanco, our chef. Thursday, I'm trying to remember all our lineup. Friday, we had Inez Delgado, our violinist. I'll come back to Thursday. My mate George, that's right. And this week we had Jessa Liversidge, did a wonderful job. And from the UK yesterday, Monday, I should say. And so it's been going on like that. Tomorrow we have Leah Miller doing watercolors and watercolor painting, sunflowers. And then Friday, I will be your entertainer. So it's been a great 2-week stretch here. We thank the NAP again for the opportunity to do this. At the end, you'll have some QR codes you can click on and fill out a survey, and any last minute request you have for me for my Friday show, I'll be glad to honor them. If not, we'll do a potpourri of songs related to June and July, and you won't know half of them, how they relate to that month until I explain it to you. Anyway, today I am happy to have comedian Tom Padovano. I'm going to bring him on here in a second. Have to put the headphones on and press another button here. I'm going to have to hire a director one of these days, Tom. Good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
All righty. Well, Tom, you have quite the history. I put some of your bio on the event page here, but why don't you tell people a little bit about who you are?
Okay. My name is Tom Padovano. I am a comedian. I'm a comedy writer. I've sold over 1,000 jokes to various comedians. Someone that you would have heard of is Joan Rivers, Rodney Dangerfield, Phyllis Diller. I perform in the metropolitan area. I've performed in a lot of clubs and a lot of senior facilities. And I've attended ventriloquist conventions. I've talked to dummies about writing jokes for them. And you could take that any way you want. And it's been a lot of fun for me.
That's great. Now, one thing I haven't asked you in all the times we've interacted, did you ever meet any of these people you sold jokes to?
Yes. I met Joan Rivers 4 times after some of her shows. Tom Dreesen I met backstage after I sold him some jokes. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Rodney Dangerfield, though.
Okay. So when Tom Dreesen was performing, was he with Sinatra?
No, at that time, he was actually with Frankie Avalon.
Oh, okay. A good South Philly boy. That's where I'm from.
Oh, yes. Right.
All
I
right.
got to meet Frankie Avalon backstage, too, with his very strong handshake.
Oh, wow. Good to know.
Yeah.
And he's got, what, 12 kids, I think. So.
Yeah, a bunch of them, yes.
Well, Tom, I'm going to give it to you, and we'll talk after you're done your little set here. Appreciate it. You take it away.
I will take it away. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, everybody. Now, I hope everybody's done okay during the coronavirus. Now, I still reported to my regular job. Every day I went in personally to go to my job, but I finally said, Boss, can I work from home? He said, No, you're a cab driver. Now, I've had a lot of crazy bosses. I had this one. If I made a mistake, she'd say, Tom, look at the mistake you made. But if she made a mistake, it was, Oh, Tom, look at the mistake we made. So I said, Well, boss, look at the ugly dress we're wearing. I had this other boss, a tough guy. Every day he'd say, So, working hard or hardly working? I finally had enough. I grabbed his neck and said, Well, boss, breathing hard or hardly breathing? I got fired. And I hate looking for a job. I went on this interview. They said, Tom, this job pays 1,000 a week, but in 6 months, it goes to 2,000 a week. I said, Great, I'll come back in 6 months. They told me not to bother. And I come from a poor family here in New York. But every year, my parents sent me to summer camp every January. Very cold and lonely. And let me tell you something, even though we were poor, every night my mother had food on the table. I wish we had plates. Now, when I was a kid, my mom and I didn't get along. When I was 7, I said, Mom, am I adopted? Not yet, but I'm working on it. Then I remember once saying, Mommy, I wanted a toy truck for Christmas. Santa didn't get me one. I'm upset. She goes, Shut up. You're 40 years old. And then I remember when my father built me a tree house when I turned 50, and he said, Move out of the basement. Well, they were embarrassed by me because I was a terrible student, but I had tough teachers. My toughest was my gym teacher, Mr. Godzilla. I'll tell you how tough he was. During recess, when we played dodgeball, he drove the dodge. And I wasn't the class clown. I was a class idiot, always getting left back. Do you know any other kid in third grade excused for jury duty? It was so embarrassing. My teacher made my parents write on the blackboard 100 times, We won't have more kids. And you want to know something? I hated school, but my neighbor was worse. Every day his mother would say, Johnny, get up and go to school. And Johnny would say, But mommy, I don't want to go to school. Why not, Johnny? The kids hate me. The teachers hate me. Mommy, I don't want to go to school. She goes, Listen, you're 47 and the principal. Go to school. Gotta go to school. Oh, I was terrible in shop class. I don't know if anybody out there took shop class. In wood shop, I made an ashtray. An ashtray made of wood. Oh my God, that thing went up in flames so heavily, Smokey the Bear punched me out. Oh, it was terrible. And now I have this terrible apartment. My apartment has a bug problem. It's bad. I tried to open the kitchen cabinet door. It was pulled shut from the other side. Now, the other day, I ran out of Raid, so I sprayed a cockroach with furniture polish. It died, but had a great shiny finish. That was exciting for me. Now my apartment has locusts. Locusts. I'm looking for an exterminator named Moses. I need a company called Biblical Proportions Exterminating. Oh, this is terrible. But you know what? As bad as my apartment is, it's not as bad as the New York subways. Oh, disgusting. And crazy things go on there. The other day, I was in a crowded train. This man collapses out of his seat, holding his chest. So from the other side of the subway car, this man yells, "I'm a doctor! Let me through! I'm a doctor!" So we let him through. And he steals the guy's seat and his wallet. Terrible. Oh, there's all kinds of crazy people. I'm telling you. The other day, I'm on a train that's not even crowded. This man is leaning all over me, cursing at the top of his lungs, and smells of alcohol. But don't worry, I got that subway conductor fired. You can't act like that. Oh, the other day, I'm on the platform. This guy says, "Do you know what train goes to Coney Island?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "I do." Nah, 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 nah. This is what I deal with. So sometimes I take the cab. You know, the cab drivers in New York speak over 60 different languages, and not one of them is English. Oh my God. Oh, and now they want to have a dress code for cab drivers, a dress code. See, I don't care what my cab driver wears as long as it's not ticking. That scares me. Oh, speaking of dress codes, recently I went to my Salvation Army store and I told them I wanted to donate my old out of style clothing. And they said, "Great, you can strip right here." Now, listen, I know I don't dress well. You know, I don't know even what color socks to wear with brown sandals. And should I wear knee high, thigh high? I don't know. Oh, this man says to me, you should not wear sandals with socks with sandals. But what happens if my toes get cold? They're so small and cute. It's not easy getting old. It really isn't easy. Bad enough, I have hair growing out of my ears. It has dandruff. Do you know what it's like to shampoo with head and shoulders and ears? Oh, I tell you, I'm at the point I'm afraid to go to the Museum of Natural History. I'm scared they're going to start building a glass case around me. Uh, and I'm not up to date on stuff. Like, I'm not on Instagram, I'm on Telegram. Oh, a couple of weeks ago, I went to this birthday party. A gorgeous woman jumps out of a huge cake. And my only thought was, wow, do you know how much cholesterol's in that icing? And look, she's getting crumbs all over the carpet. Well, one thing I have to do, I have to stop dating much younger women. I went out with one a couple of weeks ago. I said to her, "Have you ever seen Gilligan's Island?" She said, "No, take me there." It's not easy, I'm telling you. And it's not easy on the dating scene either. Like my girlfriend broke up with me. Yeah, but I wasn't surprised. A couple days before she dumped me, I said, "Honey, while you were dating me, were you dating other men?" She goes, "Oh, come on, Tom. You're the fifth guy to ask me that today." Uh, I don't know. I went to a club. I said to this woman, "Hey, babe, what's your sign?" "Keep off." Uh, and then I asked this woman, I said, "Would you like to dance?" She goes, "Okay, but with who?" Uh, so I'm talking to this other woman. She said she's looking for her best friend, lover, and partner in crime. I said, "Three different guys?" I said, "Listen, honey, I'm not into that. I'm monotonous." Yeah. Oh, then there was this other woman. She said to me she's looking for a man comfortable in his own skin. I said, "I have psoriasis." Then she was itching to leave. It was a rash decision. Oh, and then I was talking to this woman, very sophisticated. She says to me, "My last name's hyphenated." I said, my last name is Padovano. Boy, did she run away. I mean, what do you women want from me and Brad Pitt? I mean, this one woman, I'm not sure if she said to me, I was a breath of fresh air or needed a breath freshener. Oh, it's terrible. You know, I'll admit, I'm starting to get desperate. Do you know any other man that goes to Kentucky Fried Chicken just to hear the words breasts or thighs? But I've always been desperate. I used to put Vicks Vapor Rub on my chest and try to attract women with asthma. But I do remember my first love. And I remember saying to her, oh, Hortense, I know I'm not as smart as Johnny. I'm not as handsome as Johnny. And I don't make as much money as Johnny. But Hortense, I will love you forever. And she said, oh, Tom, that is so sweet. But tell me more about Johnny. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. Uh, I'll tell you. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up getting married someday. It's possible, right? Oh, I went to this wedding a couple of years ago. I'll never forget it. It was half Italian and half Jewish, and everything at this wedding was done 50-50. Like they made the men wear yarmulkes, but on the yarmulkes was an ad for Vito's Pizza. Yeah. And you know how at a Jewish ceremony they have the groom step on a glass? Here the groom was Italian, so he shot it. And the groom happened to be my cousin Vito, who's from Brooklyn, and he made up his own wedding vows. Yo, bride, I wrote this for use. Today we got married. What a beautiful thing. And I spent 40 bucks on your stupid wedding ring. But now you was my bride. And yo, you look so pretty, but hey, you still upset because the honeymoon's in Jersey City? Oh, God. So, anyhow, I'm at the wedding and I looked horrible because I can't tie a tie to save my life. So, this man, I didn't even know him, comes up to me and says, would you like me to tie your tie for you? I said, yes, thank you. He said, okay, lay down. So I lay down and he ties the tie for me. And it looks great. So I said, thank you, but why did you have me lay down? He said, well, I'm an undertaker. Ooh, oh, that scared me. Now, the suit I was wearing was a used suit. Now, I don't know who owned the suit before I did, but as soon as I put the suit on, it went like this. Oh, that scared me. Oh, goodness. But you know what? This was a very cheap wedding, too. Like the professional photographer, he used a disposable camera. Oh, and when they threw rice, it was still in the box. But you know what? I don't think it's going to work out for this newly married couple because on top of the wedding cake, they had three figures. Three. The bride, the groom, and the bride's attorney. That doesn't look good. Now, my uncle Chooch was at the wedding, a real tough guy. But you know, for a change, he was in a good mood because after 18 years, he got his birthday wish parole. Uh, and you know, he's like always in a bad mood. So I finally said, Chooch, I want you to write a gratitude list. For the next 10 days, I want you to write down what you're thankful for. And I'm going to come back in 10 days and see what you wrote. And he did that. 10 days, he wrote down something he was thankful for. But each day, he wrote down the same thing. He wrote, Tom, I'm thankful. I'm not you. Well, thanks a lot, you know. Oh, what a guy, you know. And you know what? Every Christmas, he invites me to his house. Maybe one year, he'll let me inside. Uh, so, anyhow, one year I'm standing outside as usual. He doesn't let me in. All of a sudden, he starts to sing, I'll be home for Christmas. So then my Aunt Angie looks at him and says, she starts to sing, yes, you'll be home for Christmas, 'cause you're under house arrest. Oh, God almighty. Oh, and people are going berserk, you know. And you know what? He has such a nice wife, a really nice woman. And he was in the hospital a few months ago. His wife visits him, and he goes, Yo, wife, I've been thinking, you were there for me when I had a drinking problem. You were there for me when I had a problem with drugs. And now look at this. You're here for me again. So I've been thinking, you're a jinx. What kind of terrible thing is that to say to this nice woman? Oh, goodness. Oh, you know what he likes to do now in his spare time? He likes to color in coloring books. And I said to him, you know, Chooch, that is so immature. Then he punched my sock puppet. That wasn't nice, you know, it wasn't. Oh, but now another thing he does, he works with Italian dogs at the ASPC. Hey, hey, hey. Well, he likes doing that, yeah. Now, my girlfriend, my former girlfriend, she loved her dog better than me. Yeah, like for her dog, she got it a diamond flea collar. For my birthday, I got a plastic bone that was already chewed. Yeah. Oh, but one thing I got to say about my girlfriend, she was very, very clean. As a matter of fact, her dog was named Spotless. Yeah. Oh, I remember one day I was playing fetch with Spotless for over a half hour, but I got so tired because, boy, can that dog throw a stick? He had me running all over the place, you know? It's tough. Now, some of you might be looking at me and saying, hmm, I might know this guy. Yes, some of you might recognize me from the movies. I sit near the bathroom. Yeah. And you know, whenever I go to the bathroom, I see this sign in there that says, do not throw paper towels into toilet. So I placed them in gently. Isn't that nice of me? I placed them in nice and gently. Yes. But I do hate when I go to the movies, reach under the seat and find a piece of gum. It's always sugarless and tastes terrible. Ugh. Oh, I hate that, you know? Eh, but I have like a lot of crazy. It's nearly July 4th, right? It reminds me of my cousin Laudo. Every year he invites us over on Independence Day, but he never shoots off fireworks. He just stands in the yard and goes, boom, boom. He's like 5'4", 300 pounds. Boom. This is crazy, right? Oh, then there's my Uncle Pius. He became a monk. Yeah, and he's only allowed to say two words every 10 years. So 10 years go by, and all of a sudden they ask him, so what are your two words? And he says, bed, lumpy. They say, oh, we're sorry. We'll get you a new mattress. Another 10 years go by, and they say, what are your two words now? And he said, food, cold. They said, oh, we're sorry. We'll make sure that the food is cooked nice from now on, nice and warm. Another 10 years go by, and they ask him, what is his two words? And he says, I quit. They go, well, we're glad you quit. Ever since you got here, all you do is complain. Terrible, terrible. And you know, girls complain to me. Like I remember when I was dating my girlfriend, she wanted me to take her to a candlelight dinner. And I took her, but we got thrown out of the restaurant. How was I supposed to know they don't allow you to light candles in McDonald's? But now I know why they don't allow that. Oh my God, is Ronald McDonald's outfit flammable? Did that clown go up in smoke? Oh, then there was this other woman. She said she wanted to go to a restaurant that had a fireplace. And I took her. Then she got mad when I started roasting marshmallows. Hey, there's a fire there. What are you supposed to do? It's not easy. And you know what? I'm not famous yet, but there are some Padavanos that nearly became famous, nearly, like my uncle, who's Alexander Graham Padovano. Now, he's the person that really invented the phone. And when he made his first call, the woman that picked up said, "How'd you get this number, you creep?" Yeah. Then there was Luciano Pavarotti Padovano, who sang in front of 18,000 people at the Metropolitan Opera. Okay, he was the janitor and they dragged him off the stage. But hey, he sang at the Metropolitan Opera. Oh, and then there's my uncle, great uncle, Paul Revere Padovano, who rode through Staten Island, New York, saying, "The Goombas are coming, the Goombas are coming." Ah, these are wonderful people, and I'm very blessed that they're in my life. And listen, I'm very blessed to have a chance to perform for you people. You've been a wonderful audience, and I sincerely hope you've had as much fun and pleasure as I've had tension and emotional strain. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just going to go back to my parole officer and ask him if I could use this 20 minutes I did on this show toward my community service. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
So you have an interesting array of uncles. I would love to meet some of them.
Yeah, so would I. When they let me visit the jail, I go.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have an Uncle Chooch on house arrest, right?
Yes, yes, we do.
And you really did wear Vicks Vapo Rub, how to attract asthma, people with asthma. That's nice of you.
It, well, I try to do good. I
Yeah.
try to do good.
And
Yeah.
I certainly appreciate that. We Italians have to stick together, but yeah, I think the best one for me was dodgeball, where he
Ah,
drove he drove the
yeah. It's
Dodge.
hard to find the Dodge anymore, but
Yeah,
he found one.
he found one. See, you're really put upon, my friend.
I know.
Well, look, I
But I'm
really
thankful.
I really appreciate your participation. You've been great to do this for us, and a bunch of sound checks, and you were one of the first people to raise your hand and join Sage Stream. So I want to thank you, and I'll talk to you soon enough, and hopefully we will get this rolling and have you on here on a regular basis. So have a great 4th of July, Tom.
Thank you. You too, Anthony.
All
Bye.
right, bye bye. Oh my. Um, I really like Tom. I mean, you could tell he's so old school, right? You could see Rodney Dangerfield and Joan Rivers telling those jokes. So I'm sure some of your older residents would appreciate them, especially all his crazy uncles. But I thank Tom for that. Oh my. Tomorrow we have Leah Miller. She's with the North Carolina Arts Council. She's their executive director, and she's given us a few artists as well. And she's going to be painting sunflowers. So if you go to our event listing for this under sagestream.live, go to the calendar, and you can see the supplies you might need if you want to paint along or do it later. Obviously, here we go again, and I finally got my fingers right. Top one, a survey. Please fill it out. Even if you're watching on video, you could still take a picture of that QR code, and it's really important for us to know how we're doing. And the bottom one here, this blue one, have to squeeze in here. This blue one is my song list. If you have any requests for Friday, I'm taking them. If not, we'll still have a great time. I did my first live performance at for St. Mark's Catholic Church near me, first one since COVID, and I was actually grateful. I was a little nervous. I was actually grateful at the end of the performance because I really felt like I hadn't lost a step. A lot of the stuff that just came back naturally, sort of like riding a bike, right? So good for live performances as well. We need them, and hopefully we also need Sage Stream to supplement those as well and give you a lot of variety, which we have certainly had in these last 2 weeks. So we'll see you tomorrow again at 10 a.m. for a full hour program with Leah Miller doing her watercolor painting. And sorry for my reach, but I don't have a director yet. I'm gonna have to get a director who can make these scene changes. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.